an incident that happened during my 8th grade. My school decided to conduct a marathon competition, and me being a jack of all trades, decided to participate in the race and seek advice from my dad as he was an athlete in Air Force. I had a talk with my dad over supper a day before the race, and I tried to convince him. Dad, I have a good arm throw. Would you like to give suggestion and advice to me? He said, son, I see a fire in you, and you can make it. I was surprised. And then he gave a few tips relevant to his experience, and it was next day. The race started first for girls, and for boys it's 15 minutes late. We have to go 4 kilometers, collect the receipt, and come back to the finish line to finish the race. The race started, and now I'm in the 1 kilometer mark. And keeping those legal formulas from my dad, I determined myself to stick to the comfortable rhythm and go further. Meanwhile, I could see 50% of the crowd ahead of me. I stood calm and composed and continued the race. And now, it's 2.5 kilometer mark. I couldn't see anyone further in the road. It's because I was not looking at the road, I was looking at Seema. Yes, Seema was my 5th standard crush. I was going to look constant on the road. And the time I could reach Seema, before I uttered a word, she said, could you please pass on this button to Reshmi? And Reshmi was long ago, around some 3 kilometer mark. And now I managed to reach Reshmi at 3.5 kilometer mark, and she saw me running on a barefoot because it's my first marathon race. I even don't know how, I should have gears for that. She said, Vinod, you're running on a barefoot? How could you do this? And now I need not to tell you, when you get a compliment from a girl, and especially a girl more beautiful than your crush. So I reached her, I said, hey, it's a piece of cake, walk to me, you know. And I continued the race. And I collected the receipt, and I was in the 6 kilometer mark. And now, everyone out here will have that cool friend with you who will give his important, great advice at your low time. Please raise your hands if you got one cool friend. Oh, count all together is my cool friend. Yes. My friend saw me running in intense pain, and he said, buddy, being a science student, okay? He said, the tar road is tightly packed, it will give you more pain. Shift yourself to the mud road. It will be more porous and it will give you more comfort. I did that. Not even 2 steps. I started to bleed a lot. I was racking already. I shifted back to the tar road and continued the race. And with great difficulty, I reached the finish line. And I was down at the finish line. And it was my friend who took me back to home. The next day at the school. Starting from the PT to the principal, was surprised to see my name on the notice board, including me. So what happened? What made this change? So what made it so distinct from the regular day? And the one is, so what advice did my dad give to me? So I need to close attention to what my dad said. My dad said, son, it's going to be a different day for you that you never witnessed before. Be prepared for that. As you are not prepared for the race, try to find your motivation. And by now, you would have found from where I found the motivation, 2.5 kilometer path. I did that. And now, when you find the motivation and go to that path, and now you're in a situation where you have the fight between your eyesight and your mindset. So, what do you decide? He said, let me tell you. You are already in an immense pain. Go get a reward from it. Because winning is the only option that's left with you. So don't leave this opportunity. Because opportunity knocks only once. And that's going to happen to you tomorrow. Try that. So I thank my dad here. I take this podium to thank my dad, who was a pillar behind my success. And to my mom. Mom, did I say that? Mom came in the script. She was never in the script. Isn't it? Okay. Mom, my angel, who introduced me to my dad. So guys, after listening to your speech, now I see a fire in every one of you. Over to the TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster. I felt that I was actually listening to another world-class speech.